Thanks, Photo Wings. It's really amazing that we can do these events. Truly, it's really lovely. I'm so happy that I get to be able to do this one, but it's also lovely to watch all the other events. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So 4 questions for Mary. Are you ready?
For difficult questions for Mary.
Exactly. Kind of. Yeah. Did you find them difficult?
That's simple question, but when you try to answer, it's quite harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's deeply, and yeah, you should think about a lot.
It's true.
They're not choose one. It's, you know, it's some people ask you what your favorite movie, and I'm always, oh my God, one, only one. It's the same things. What your one picture, what's important for you, and it's quite same difficult. It's difficult question.
Yeah. No, it's
but
true.
I did it.
I know they're very tricky. Yeah, but you did it. That's the nice part.
Yeah.
So before we start with the questions, actually, I would like to introduce a bit about who you are as a photographer. But please, I'm going to read it out, but please feel free if you want to add anything to this. I know you as one of the lovely female members of 7.
Yeah.
And well, you're in St. Petersburg. We already know that. You're a Russian photographer. But what I didn't know, and I learned that today, that you have a degree in sociology.
True.
Really cool and very handy with this job, I feel. I regret that I never studied sociology. It's such a good match, right?
Yeah, it's nice and important match, I guess.
Yeah. And important. Yeah, because I think it's easier to understand many of the stories we're working with. Okay, yeah. So Mary was involved in photography after getting her degree in sociology and focused on topics such as vulnerability and trauma and its implication, life and ideology of alternative communities. And the most important part of her practice is diving deeper into the topics and interactions with people where the empathy, trust, and understanding is significant. And with that last line, you also mean winning the trust or gaining trust as a photographer, right?
Yeah. Yes,
gaining trust in that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the trickiest, but also most important part of our job, I feel.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, there's no more going around these questions. We're gonna start. Mary.
Okay.
Okay. What is your most important photograph?
I will show you.
Please.
This is image of Mina and Tatiana in their room in the village, Svetlana from Leningrad region. This image is a part of long-term project named M+T, what I was making around one year. It was a story about love between old couple with Down syndrome. I followed them from the beginning of their relationship, and I inspired, of course. And I was starting to take pictures, and I taught Tatiana to take pictures too in Polaroid. And I would like to tell a little bit about these people and a little bit about background, and then I tell you why this picture is important for me.
Yeah, please.
Tatiana, she came to Svetlana from the village of Potanina in the Leningrad region, where she took care of her mother until her death. And she was very independent, positive, and stubborn. And the main things to her is other people look with kind eyes and smile. So their reaction to her. And she loved to draw very much. And before Svetlana, she mostly like copied through paper. And in the village, she learned to draw devoted. And Mina has been living in the village since beginning. It's for more than 20 years. And he always wrote documents when he presented himself as a president of this village, Svetlana. But it's not true. It's not true. Okay. Because there, no one is president. They against it hierarchical model of a community. But he imagined, and then he read pretty loud. It was important for him to feel himself busy and important person. And the document is magic for him. And he writes about how the village is organized in his notebooks, where the resident walk, who lives in this village. No, it's such a kind of accounting book. Yeah, and he always tells that he's not like that, meaning that he's not disabled. It's important to feel not excluded and like he's a decent guy. Yeah. And they always spend time together. They love to wake up and fall asleep next to each other, hold hands and felt each other's presence. And they were very tactile and openly showed their feelings. And at first they lived in different rooms, but Tatiana permanently tracked things to Mina, and so they proved their right to live together. So, and
such a sweet image.
Yeah, and a sense of home and family was important in their life. Lives. Many of their friends were like brothers or sisters for them, daughters and sons. And Julia, one of Tatiana's best friends, she considered her like a mother. And that's amazing for me, because rarely do people with Down syndrome live such a happy life at their age in Russia. They could build their own little family life, show their love, be in love, be an active part of the village, and be yourself. And the biggest dream for them, it was wedding. It was important for Tatiana to officially recognize that their husband and wife, and to show the outside world they exist as a couple and as a family. And therefore, they wore rings, often lost them and found new ones. And Tatiana even had this girl in the village from guys. One day, it was really funny situation, but for Tatiana, it was such a bad experience in her life. Once Tatiana and another resident, Irina, came to the shop and they bought wedding dress for Tatiana. But then one of the girls in this village stole this dress and threw it away.
Stole the dress?
Yeah, and threw it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Tatiana was never found with this dress. We don't know what happened. But she was so unhappy in that moment. But the wedding day didn't come. Because Mina got sick, then his mom, then Tatiana came to the hospital for a whole year, and then COVID. And then why this image is important to me, because it's my last time when I saw Tatiana alive.
Oh, no.
After some months, she died.
No.
Coronavirus, as the doctor said. And when I took this picture, Tatiana was crying with Mina because they had argued with their friend. And I supported them. And after some time, I took this picture in total silence. Yeah, but it's my last time when I saw her and was with them together.
Oh,
yeah.
so sad for,
Yeah.
if you can imagine now him,
Yeah, it's really
Okay.
big lost.
Exactly.
Yeah, one of big lost in my life. And I have a picture. It's Polaroid near to me. We are together with.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. So when did you meet them? When did you?
I met them in the Svetlana in the village because.
Oh, but when? Oh, sorry.
When?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess, and it was 2016 when Tatiana came to the village in that time, and the old people understood that Mina and Tatiana will together.
Yeah. What a sweet story, and what a sweet image.
Sweet story and the sad end. Yeah,
A
it's
very
always in
sad
drama.
end. Yeah, I'm a bit like, oh no, because you can just see how perfect they are together. So this was after someone or she had a fight with someone in the village, or is that what you just said? Or
I think people there, the people with special needs, sometimes they, I don't know, argued with another friends, and yeah, just that's typical. It's typical. Just
like small fights about.
Yeah, after 2 hours, she forgot about this. Yeah.
But it's such a sweet moment the way they are together, and I can, from the image, I can also really see that. You are there, but they are really not minding you. Seems like you're very invisible here.
Yeah, I think because I created project about Svetlana, this village, around 4 years, and Mina, he saw me many times with camera, and I was not a person. I was not an interesting person for them. I mean, a lot of reporters they came to the village and made a reportage about village, and it was like a wow, like new guy one day, but I was there every month. I lived with them, and the camera it was not something special for them. It was okay, Mary with camera, or Mina called me correspondent.
Oh, beautiful. Of the village.
Yeah, in his notebook he wrote Mary correspondent.
Yeah, that's
she
actually
take
good,
pictures.
But it's a much better word in a way, for instead of photographer. Like, you're not the kind of photographer who jumps into a story and leaves. You're really always very much invested, and you take your time and you get to know people. So I think correspondent, it's the perfect word. You're in the place for a long time.
Yeah, correspondent it's a word from Soviet Union. Like now we say reporter, photographer, or correspondent. It's something from the last time. And it was funny to hear from him this. Yeah, but of course I have assignments, and of course I'm jumped on different place, sometimes for 1 day, for 3 days. But in my personal project, it doesn't work. So I prefer to be with people, to live with them, to understand the kind of inner world of these people, or make a trust relationship. That's what I took from sociology. Because it's the same things what I did in sociology, but of course it's more objectively way blah blah blah. In photography, it's difficult, and I guess it's not so interesting for me to make a long distance. The more interesting for me to create relationship when people used to see you, and just they trust you, believe you, and I don't know, something like this.
But I can imagine that way of working, which is also the way that I personally like to work, to really dive in and stay longer. And it can get quite painful in situations like this when someone passes away, because you feel like part of their lives because you know them very well, but you're also in a way maybe maybe not an outsider, but you're, I don't know. It's a difficult position sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes your personal boundaries, that's difficult. And I think for me, I used to feel myself like this, so it's not difficult for me. But when a person, your friend, died, of course, it was unexpectedly, and it was, I cried. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, and it was huge pain for me, so inside.
And also, I'm imagining, because it was because of COVID that the distance you couldn't go to a funeral. I'm imagining, because of the restrictions. Yeah,
and mostly this. Yeah.
There are two questions coming in the Q&A box. Well, one is in the chat, actually. Guys, if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box. But there is one in the chat from Rosie. And the question is, did she paint the painting on the wall behind them?
Wait, I will try to see.
Yeah, which one is it?
Which one? On the huge.
How do we describe this, guys? It's someone sitting in a big
at a table.
Chair at a table. Yeah.
Actually, I don't know, because I think it's a gift from someone to Mina. Okay. But now the room looks another. It's a lot of pictures of Tatiana, and with friends, with his mother, and it's a huge room of the memory, I think.
Yeah.
Because he really loved to see and to watch, to look at the pictures, and this picture, I think it's just a gift from someone.
No, sweet that it's now like a whole memorial site.
Now it's more interesting.
And the other question that came in is from Anastas. How do you find your stories? Do you think you need to be personally related to the topic to make an impactful work?
It's a good question. I think I'm always try to find something interesting in the person or in community or something like this. I don't care about long-term project or it's a short. I always try to find something interesting and to give some empathy to other people. I think we don't have a lot of love around us, and mostly a lot of hate or aggressive, toxic people, relationship. So for me, it's more important to find something in the person or in the story, and to get this empathy. And I think in every situation and every story, you can find something personal.
That's beautiful.
In my experience, I never did something what I didn't understand and on a personal level, because it's I don't know, humanity and character or
It's interesting how that works, right? Because with some stories you might at first hand think, oh, this is kind of far away from my own whatever world that I'm in, and then you dive into the story and you realize, oh wait, I see a lot of similarities, and I now understand yeah, it's weird how that it's really, like you say, it's humanity. We're all quite similar. Even if we want it or not, we really are.
Yeah, exactly. And if a person, okay, not person, I don't care, person, community, or topics, or it's people which I don't like, maybe because I don't know, they're aggressive and I don't like aggressive or something like this. But I'm always try to understand why, or motivation, or it's helped me to give empathy. That's a huge compliment from sociology, I guess, because they always try to be like a researcher and try to understand motivation, mood, or why, or what for, and try to understand person better. And let's give you some energy and curiosity, or
no, it's I kind of understand what you're saying. I photographed a racist right-wing organization years ago, and you go into an organization like that, into a camp, and I was thinking certain things about these people, and you go there and you end up seeing, when you go into a story with curiosity, you can learn a lot, also from people that you don't agree with in any way, but you realize, okay, that's how they think, and that's why they got to this point, or something like that. It
looks like when you're a teacher, you're like a therapist, and try to understand why person has this behavior, or what's background of the person, or something like this, and you're always it helps to do the story if you don't like, or it's not so interesting, just curiosity. And
no, I agree. Okay, I asked a couple of questions that I actually wasn't allowed to, but let's go to number 2, because I can only ask 4, but I just snuck a few more in. And thanks for the great questions in the chat, guys, or sorry, in the Q&A box. So the second question is, what is your biggest photo failure? Maybe an image that you messed up somehow, or an image that you're just not feeling it. I don't know. Could be any.
Crazy question.
Sorry.
No, I mean, it's a good question, and it was quite difficult for me to find the answer, but I found one. It was a long time ago, and this is question. It was very complex for me, because I don't try to focus on situation when something didn't exactly go as I planned. I try to be flexible, don't expect too much from me or from situation. That's okay, and thank you to therapy for this. I learned it sometimes, but sometimes exists something more than you can control, or your imagination, and you feel your helplessness. And this picture is from unfinished project about suicide among LGBT teens in Russia. I started in 2016. It was quite more difficult than I expected. Many LGBT teens don't do a coming out of their parents, and of course don't tell them about suicidal attempt. But we have a law. If I would like to publish picture of minor, I have to take a permission of parents, of course. And it was a dead end. Because
that's difficult.
Coming out, no. A lot of children didn't tell about this suicide with parents, but they have a lot of attempt. I tried to take picture without face and something like this, but lawyers told me it doesn't work. And
why? I mean, to me, this, if you know the story, to me, this is a very strong image, and it makes total sense. There's no face.
Yeah, but the lawyers told me that they can recognize the room, and they recognize some elements of her body, for example. And we have a homophobic law against the propaganda of homosexuality among minors. It's that's crazy law, but yeah, it's terrible when you want to speak out about the important things, but what's happening now, but everything is against you. So the mostly parents, homophobic parents, the law, and and you know, these children, I guess, feel loneless, because how we can share about this in society when society ignore it and forbid. Yeah, just say it's forbidden, like, to talk about this, it's propaganda or blah blah blah. So it was I have only 3 pictures from this, and it was strange experience when I took this picture, because we were alone in her room, in apartment. Her mother was in a job, and I felt myself like I'm spider.
A secretive.
Like a secret guy who tried to create a project about poor girl who it's difficult to her to live in this homophobic society, and she felt loneless and la la la.
And that's not a nice way to work in any way. I mean, it's
yes, I felt myself bad.
Exactly.
And I decided to stop, and I think sometimes just take your time, what I feel, maybe later, or of course I can did this project and published in foreign countries. But for me it was important to publish here and to try to tell about this, because you know, it's easy way to do something in the country, and which is forbidden a lot, but you published and then
elsewhere.
But for me it's more important to do it for LGBT teens in Russia.
Yes, of course, I can imagine. So now you photographed three different people, or you're saying that you have 3 different images of the same person, or you have three
different LGBT teens, another girl and man. And then I stopped because I understood it doesn't work. It's not good for. It was good for teens because we talked a lot, and it was really nice when someone older can talk about you, understand you, and support you, and it was nice. It was good therapy effect, but in photo project it was nothing, because no one can see it. I can tell about this, but it's difficult to tell in society.
And does it really feel as a failure to you, or more like what do you call it, like what's the word, like
challenge,
being in between? Like being in between something. You're kind of hanging there with a great project. I mean, the story is really strong, the subject is, the image is beautiful, but it's like you're kind of stuck for other reasons. Feels like it feels very unfair, almost more than a failure to me, but I don't know, like, I mean, it's such a great story, an important story to tell, or does it feel like a failure, like you failed? Did you feel you failed? Or
I think for me, when you have situation when you feel that everything is against you, it's failed. But like, you in that time we didn't have a lot of supportive initiative groups like now, because now it's quite bigger. We have magazines, we have a lot of articles about LGBT and blah blah blah. But of course, homophobic level is quite high.
Nice.
But in that time, I felt that I'm alone, and law can help me. The state against me. I can't help these children, and I felt like it's a huge, crazy failed. I don't understand. Yeah, and it was quite difficult. I understood it, that you can't continue because and some children, I wanted to take picture at home in their room, because mostly they made attempts in their room, but some people lived with grandmother, with mother, with brother, and it was difficult to go inside in the room because
the family members wouldn't know that the son or daughter was part of was
LGBT, and it was quite difficult to find another place because they are teens and the control from parents and blah blah blah. So it's complex.
Do you feel because in the chat box Anastasia is saying, I wish you luck to complete it in the future. Like, are you kind of diving into it again now that it might be a bit easier, or
no?
You really want to?
I think it's not a good time now to do it because the situation is much shitty.
You can say it.
We'll then it was later. Yeah, because we have a lot of repression and foreign agents, pressure to journalists, and it's quite, I don't know that the governments too much care about children, but it's not right way.
Yes,
yeah. So I think I will finish this. I will finish this story, but I should feel that it's time to do it.
And did you stay in contact with the 3 people that you've photographed so far?
With two of them.
Okay.
Yeah, and they are not. They are more than 18 years old.
Okay.
Already.
Well, they're
not teens more.
That makes it a bit easier for publication.
Yes.
Oh, Frida is asking a question about this image in the Q&A, and the question is, can you tell us how you came to this image, like in detail? What was happening at the moment?
I used to. It was Hasselblad middle format. It was film, and in that moment, before we talked, and a lot, and then we were sitting in. It was a little bit dark, and only this light behind her you see, and she just she was sitting in the bed, in her bed, and we talked, and then I just took picture. Yeah.
And you asked her to kind of face the wall. I guess.
Yeah, because I
Or down
explained
a bit.
her about the problems what I have with law and la la la. Yeah.
There's one more question
Uh-huh.
coming in from Anastas. Did they come out to their family, if you know? Most of them didn't, right? You just said, or maybe none of
No
the
one.
three you saw. No one. Too much fear of
Yeah.
angry parents, grandmothers.
Yeah, kick out from home. Of course, they're afraid.
Hmm.
Or just angry, aggressive reaction. I don't know.
Yeah, sad. Okay, I'm thinking time-wise, we should
Yeah.
move to question 3.
Yeah.
And looking from and knowing your stories, I'm very curious to know what you're going to answer to this, because the question is, what is your dream image or story? And it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's real. I mean, it could be that you would love to photograph on Mars or whatever. I mean, that could be possibly happen, but could be anything. It doesn't have to become a reality. But what would you like to
Oh my God,
photograph?
I thought about reality.
That's also fun.
Yeah, yesterday I talked with my partner about this, and I just said, like, oh my God, dream project, dream story. What is it? That's a huge question. My God, I don't know. I didn't think a lot about this. I'm just in process, and I'm always thinking about the project, not like which will sometimes in my life, or it's like a goal where I'm going to this project. and I guess I would like to, it's not like a dream project, but I think it's important. It will be an important project for me. It's about my native city. Yeah. And yeah.
Which is your native city?
Penza.
Is it
that's a small city in Russia, and actually I left the city when I was 18 years old, and I hated the city. I don't know. It's just I had a lot of bad experience there, and I don't know. It's a cold city for me.
You were really
I mean cold, like emotionally cold.
Yeah.
I don't feel nothing, and I think I would like to figure out or to try to learn the city when I'm like 27 years old.
Maybe with a different vision now.
Yeah, different optic of my eyes.
Literally. Well.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, and
and do you still have, is there family, are there friends still back there, or like did you leave a whole kind of thing behind?
Yeah, my parents lived there, and my grandmother, and only in last year I was there. It was my first time because I did a 5-year break, I guess. Yeah, it's not my favorite city to visit.
No.
Yeah, but I think I don't like the position that you should that you hate your last experience, or you hated something, or you, I don't know, just cancel your experience in last time. And I think I would like to feel the city
in a more maybe equal way, with ups and like to give it a chance in a way to
give it a chance. And I know how the city changed, and economically, politically, and it's interesting to to understand and to find this city with different perspective, not only my childhood or, I don't know, crazy teens in the school or something like this. Yeah. So I guess it's, I don't know, maybe when I will old person, I would like to take a project about my native city, my memories.
Yeah. And do you think you will, if you would do a more personal project like that, where you, I guess it's quite reflective as well, would you then turn the camera towards family members and friends and, I don't know, your old school or the places that were important to you? Or would you more tell the story through new narratives about people that you don't know yet, or places you don't know yet?
I think it's interesting, new narratives, and plus to include the some people from the city, like my grandmother, for example. Yeah.
To make it a bit more personal.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a long question coming in.
Where I don't see.
Okay. Let's see. From Paul. This is not a negative in any way, shape, or form, I hope. These two images are set moments, extremely well structured, technically, superb images, yet the emotion shines through and overpowers the technique. Is that a hallmark of your work, Mary? Really amazing work that is really quite inspirational. Can you read it? I thought.
Yes, I try.
I see you getting closer to the screen.
So that's not so beautiful, I guess, but I try to write.
So I guess the image is, if, or the question is, if, oh, what's the word? Lovely to have a show with two non-native English speakers. It's all like, what's the word? It's like, if the beauty of an image takes away from the story, is that kind of what the question entails? If the
I don't understand.
The emotion shines through and overpowers the technique, is that a hallmark of your work?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm lucky it's your question. There you go.
I don't know. It's a good good question, but I didn't think a lot about this, how it works. How, for me, it's important for me to, when person, like the subject of the story, don't focus on the process of photography. So that's the most important for me, because like relax situation with the subject, it's only when person don't focus on the process of photography. It, time help you all days, I guess. And these pictures, the first, I knew it very long time. They believed me, they trust me, they knew me. And the second picture, we met 2 times, we talked a lot. I'm only one person who supported her among her friends. I mean, older person. And of course, it's helped me to have a time in the process of photography. Then she, I know, like she has I called it trance effect. Like when you focus on your mind or look at the window and just forget about photographer sometimes. Yeah, this quite interesting for me sometimes in the portraits, but of course sometimes I prefer to another way, just to show me something, but it's but in a personal, mostly this, yeah, when people distract of this protest,
when they're not part of the when they really don't see you.
Yeah, Yeah, like you are like you're not here.
I think as well, the work that I know from you really kind of has that, I know there's a lot of emotion in it, but the imagery is extremely strong. Like it always seems almost like it's like a movie. It's also the light. It's very almost unreal, the beauty in the images. It's so soft, and I really think that is actually a hallmark of your work in a way. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I
Yeah.
think it's beautiful. So we're at the last question. Well, my last question, but please, anyone, feel free to ask questions in the Q&A if you have any. But my last question is, what advice would you give your younger self?
Yeah, but
you are still quite young, but even younger self.
I don't like to give advice, but what I can say from my experience, just don't be afraid of difficulties, because in life they're always there, of course. And sometimes the most difficulty is your own voice, which tells you that you're not worth something, or you are not a good one to do that. This cruel, critical voice which stops you and eats you up inside. And just say to this voice, shut up, I can do all.
That's a good advice. Just shut up. It's interesting because I've done a couple of episodes now. I don't know how many, but let's say 5, I guess. And seems like we're all struggling with similar feelings like this.
Yeah.
Like the voice that says, oh, you're not good enough as a photographer or as a storyteller, or the story is not, or I don't know, could be anything. But yeah, I think that would be great. A great way to silence this negative voice is to just say shut up very loud. Maybe even out loud. People might think it's weird, but yeah. So did the opposite of that kind of slow you down in your process of becoming a photographer? Did that voice really slow you down in some way?
It makes me nervous sometimes. Yeah, but it was now I don't have problem with this because I can tell with this voice. But 3 years or 4 years ago, it was quite difficult. It was like a huge pressure inside me, and you feel like you have not energy. You spend your old resources only just for this critical voice inside you. And I understood the situation, like we live in society when success is so important, or you always compare you with different people, and you know the social media, and I think the nice is a digital detox.
Yes, great advice.
And the second is like just to practice meditation, and to free. It's therapy. It's a quite nice experience when you try to find the way to talk with this voice inside. And yeah,
very true. That's those 3 are very extremely important, because if you don't do this kind of self-care, it can slow you down in your life, but also in your creative life. Because I think that's the main problem we have as photographers, is that we kind of are our job. It's not a job we do, but it's kind of a job we are. That's how I see it. So if you're not aligned with yourself, it's very difficult to do your job or be your job. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's very, very true. There's a lot of love throughout this chat that we had coming in the chat, by the way. Jeffrey is saying thank you so much for being here and for sharing your pictures and story. And Anastasia said Mary's ability to go deep and touch people's souls and show it with her work is remarkable. So yeah, it's always
thank you very
sweet
much.
people. Yeah.
So nice.
Nice, right? Yeah.
Thank you to share you.
Yeah, it's sweet. Mary is inspirational, says Samira. I totally agree. So true. You really are an inspiration. You're amazing. And I'm so glad you came here, even though you had your surgery just now. Like it was just now, right? Today-ish.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah. And I think in next episode of Matrix, I will be an actress there.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, it was amazing having you here. Thanks so much. Oh, Frida's saying great work. Thanks everyone for watching as well. And thanks Mary for all your time. I hope in a couple of days you will see super sharp. I really hope it recovers well. And
maybe I will see someone not see. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone. I would like to tell you good luck, give it empathy, take care of yourself.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. And for everyone that's watching, there are 2 episodes of 4 Questions coming up. One on the 1st of March with Ali Arkadi. I'm really looking forward to chatting to him because it's been a while since I spoke to him. And on the 29th of March with Danny Wilcox-Fraser. So please feel free to join. And thanks so much again for being here. And thanks, Mary.
Yeah, thank you, Ilvy. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.